The Reach Strategy for every person in every nation. Through the Great Commission, God has clearly shown us that we are to preach the gospel and disciple all nations. But how are we supposed to do it? The reality is that most unreached people are part of oral cultures. That means that they learn by hearing rather than reading. The Jesus film is a movie that presents the gospel in over 1,200 languages in a visual and oral format. To reach oral learners, many people do what are called gospel presentations. In a gospel presentation, either a movie like the Jesus film is shown using a tool like Renew's solar-powered Vista systems, or open-air preaching takes place. After a gospel presentation, often 10% of the viewers or listeners accept Christ. Now the challenge is that without discipleship, after 1 year, sometimes only 2% of those people who accepted Christ still consider themselves his followers. To put this in simpler terms, if 1,000 people attend a gospel presentation, often 100 accept Christ, but only 2 last a single year without discipleship. So here's one solution: audio Bible listening groups. Because of audio Bibles, oral learners can get God's Word in a format that they can understand. Faith Comes by Hearing has recorded the audio Bible in over 800 languages. Because of this, audio Bibles are a viable way to reach people in remote areas. It turns out that using gospel presentations and audio Bibles together has remarkable results. Jesus Film and Faith Comes by Hearing missionaries visited 500 villages in India. In each community, they showed a Jesus film, after which they left behind an audio Bible with a respected villager who agreed to host a listening group with new believers. So the gospel presentation was used as an evangelism tool, while the audio Bible was used to disciple new believers. So each of the 500 villages got an audio Bible. A total of 6,000 people were initially listening to those Bibles, and missionaries and local believers visited the churches periodically over the next 6 months. After 6 months, the 6,000 listeners grew to nearly 16,000. That means that the church didn't decrease in size, but because of the audio Bibles, which enabled people to understand God's Word, the church actually grew. While sometimes only 2% of believers remain when a gospel presentation is implemented by itself, multiple studies have found that when audio Bibles are left with new believers after showings, the church can experience 200% growth. We call this strategy the Reach Strategy.